Now 16 points of Caro. What are the 16 points to be reported in Caro? See, under section 143(11) of Companies Act 2013, central government has prescribed companies auditors report order 2016. So how to write this? Companies bracket auditors first affairs report bracket close order comma 2016. Now applicability we have already seen in our previous video. In this video I am going to tell you the points to be reported. Point number 1. Fixed asset. In that, what we should understand? In fixed assets, the first point is whether the company is having proper records of fixed assets, whether the company is doing physical verification of fixed assets, whether when you are doing physical verification, whether you noted any discrepancies, whether adequate title deeds or have the company have adequate title deeds, because the company may say that land is owned by the company but title deeds may not be available. So whether they have title deeds, these are the points to be remembered in fixed assets. And point number 2, inventory, whether the company is having physical verification process, whether there is any discrepancies, because if there is any discrepancies they have to reduce the inventory in valuation, both in quantity as well as the valuation. Then point number 3, loans given to related parties covered under the register maintained under section 189. So in case if they have given any loans to related parties, whether they are properly recovering principal as well as interest. Then if the principal or interest is overdue for a period more than 3 months, what are the steps taken by this company? Then investments, that is fourth point, investments and loans. If the company has given investments, they should always make sure section 186 is followed. When section 186 is followed, they should also make sure section 185 is also followed. 185 says to whom you can give loans. 186 says how much you can give loans and investments. So whether you can give, if yes, how much you can give. These are these two sections. So when you give loans and advances, whether section 186 and 185 is followed. Then deposits. In case if the company has accepted the deposits from public, then RBI directions will be followed. If not, RBI will send you some notice, else NCLT will send you some notice, National Company Law Tribunal, if any violation has been done and any notice has been received from these authorities. Then cost records. As per section 148, both regulated sectors as well as non-regulated sectors, if their turnover crossed 35 crores, they have to maintain cost records. Now in case if the company is in regulated or non-regulated sector, if they have to follow cost records rules, they have to maintain a cost records. As a statutory auditor, you need not worry about whether they are maintaining it properly, whether per unit price is correct or not. Those things a cost auditor will take care. You have to see whether they are maintaining the cost records in case if it is applicable. In case if they are not in regulated non-regulated sector, it's not applicable for them, so you do not worry. Then statutory dues. Statutory dues, in that point you have two types. One is disputed and second is undisputed. So first we will complete undisputed statutory dues. Now undisputed statutory dues involves what? See, in company they have ESI, PF, income tax, custom duty, GST, etc. So they have to pay it on time. In case if they have a temporary cash crunch, they may not pay it in time. Caro says if the dues are outstanding for a period of 6 months as on 31/3, that means the dues are pertaining to September of the previous year or before. That is the reason it's more than 6 months due. In case if the dues are undisputed dues, that means you yourself accept that you have to pay the dues, and the dues are outstanding for a period more than 6 months. This has to be mentioned, how much dues, etc. Second point in this is, if it is disputed dues, if it is disputed, that means you are not accepting that you have to pay this. Okay, authority is asking you to pay, but you are not accepting to pay. For example, income tax assessing officer will ask you to pay, commissioner will ask you to pay, but you are contesting these dues. So according to you, you are not having any liability for these dues. So this is called disputed dues. So it will be disputed in some forum. For example, commissioner appeals, ITAT, okay, or CESTAT, or High Court, or Supreme Court. So what is the act, which year it pertains to, the dispute pertains to? For example, GST means GST Act. Year pertains to, say, 1819. What is the amount? Under which forum it is disputed? Say High Court. So these things has to be disclosed. Then, if you have made any default to banks and financial institutions, not only banks and financial institutions but also the debentures and loans taken from any government, then party wise default has to be shown. Then see, in case if you accepted any term deposits or no deposits, basically it should be properly repaid, otherwise you will be facing consequences. That is before point, that is deposits points. This is debenture point. Debenture is different, deposits is different, please understand. Then in case the company went to IPO, etc., they have to utilize the fund properly. Okay, those things also separately we have. Then fraud point. The 10th point comes to fraud. In case if the company faced any fraud on the company or by the company, whether the company did the fraud or some employee or officers done fraud on the company, fraud by the company or on the company is noticed, or in case they filed a complaint through police station, FIR is filed, that's called reported. Fraud is noticed or reported. Okay, this point has to be discussed. So auditor has to write fraud is noticed or reported on the company or by the company. Sir, we already have a fraud point in 143.12. That is different. That is as per Companies Act. This is as per Caro. In 143.12, you have two things. One is less than a crore, another one is equal to or more than a crore. Less than a crore, you should disclose only to management. More than or equal to crore, then you should disclose even to central government in form ADT 4. Then managerial remuneration. This is the 11th point. Managerial remuneration, you have to follow section 197, and you also have this managerial remuneration chapter in your accounts. How much maximum remuneration a person can get. Okay, that 11% overall maximum remuneration, those points you should remember. So managerial remuneration, 2 points you should understand. One is 197, another one is schedule 5, whether this company is paying as per 197 and schedule 5. Then see, there are companies which is a Nidhi company. Okay, in this Nidhi company and all, Nidhi company means basically savings promotion activities they will do. Kumbakonam mutual benefit fund kind of. Those companies, they will accept deposits from public, but those public are their shareholders themselves. They will not accept from general public. So first you should become a shareholder, then only you can deposit. And again you can take a loan from the company. So it's for shareholders, it's by shareholders. Okay, so they will take deposits from shareholders, they will give loan to shareholders. In that scenario, they have to maintain certain ratios like 1:20. Okay, for example, if they have a own funds of 1 rupee, they can take deposits of 20. Those things you should remember. Then see, there are something called preferential allotment of shares. What is preferential allotment of shares? Preferential allotment means private placement. That means I am not giving shares to everyone, I am giving only shares to few people by following section 42. Generally rights issue section 62 has to be followed, but preferential placement and private placement section 42 has to be followed. So I am giving only to few people, I am not giving to everyone who is the present shareholders. In that scenario, special resolution has to be passed. So whether the company has made any preferential allotment of shares, that also to be covered here. In case if the company is NBFC, okay, that means non-banking financial companies, then they have to take license under 45IA of the Companies Act 2013. Whether RBI has given that license to this company, that also you should report. Then if there is any non-cash transaction taken place, what is non-cash transaction? The director, instead of buying the asset from the company, is exchanging the assets from the company. So company is having one car and this director is having one car, they are exchanging these cars. Okay, so when they exchange the cars, both the cars has to be valued by the registered valuer under section 192, and they have to do a proper exchange. If there is any small difference in value, the parties has to settle in cash. This needs a board resolution as well as general meetings ordinary resolution approval. Okay, so see, for IPCC it is not necessary that you should remember all the sections and clauses in order. In case if they ask questions, you should know how to answer those questions. Okay, so mostly they will ask only from selected clauses like fraud, fixed asset, okay, inventories, related parties, managerial remuneration, only from these areas. So it is not necessary for you to mug up the clauses of Caro. You can even write as per Caro 2016. It is not necessary that you should mention the clause number perfectly, because even final students are not writing perfectly the clause number. So you should just answer that. That's all enough. It's only your understanding. Okay, because this Caro 2016 is entirely going to change in next few months. So already we are studying the old one only. So just understand what is Caro, what is it says, why it is like this, etc. It is giving more transparency to the shareholders. So auditors are bound to report that. So if you have any specific queries, you can WhatsApp me 99405 12888. I will answer your queries.